Hello and welcome to the channel. And for today's video, we will be looking at this, Evasion mode Optimus Prime. However, this isn't just a regular Evasion mode Prime, other than the added paint that I added to the figure. This also has some other features, some other add-ons, and also this is a knockoff. So this is a KO of the Evasion mode Prime. So this figure originally was released, by Hasbro for the Age of Extinction toy line. The movie that featured Marky Mark in it. So this is the version of Prime where Marky Mark finds him in the flat nose truck, version. Usually the movie Optimus Prime is the long nose truck, whatever it's called. I don't know, Freightliner or something. And then this was like a nod to the G1 fans, right? Having Optimus being a flat nose truck version. Originally, the figure itself didn't really appeal to me. Certain design aspects of the live action movies are cool, right? And especially the latest versions from the Bumblebee movie, the Michael Bay designs. I mean, there are some good ones, but Prime to me wasn't really one of the more appealing ones. So the only reason that I even have this figure is because it came with the extras. So we're gonna be showing those off here. Excuse me. So the biggest thing for me when it came to the Bay versus Optimus Prime was his proportions. Growing up with the G1 cartoon, I'm accustomed to a certain aesthetic, right? So to me, Optimus, the proportions used in the Bay movies were just weird. He had really long legs, a small, really tiny waist. The shoulders were small. Everything about Optimus looked, tiny by comparison to the larger, bulkier, G1 version. And just, for a comparison, let me just bring in quickly the new kingdom, right? The new kingdom of Optimus Prime. This is basically what a new take on the original G1 version of Optimus Prime. This is what he looks like. This is what I always imagined the original toy being, or wanting to be. So when the Bayverse version came out, Prime looks way skinnier. So what I liked about this add-on kit, which was originally released by the X9 as an add-on to the original Hasbro figure, they gave him, not necessarily with the intent of making him look more like the G1 toy, but more to give him a look of the Power Master Optimus Prime, or the Jinrai Optimus Prime, right? I don't know if consciously they were trying to make him look more G1-esque in their attempts, but to me that was more than enough to make me get the figure. So basically, the add-on kit gave him this, this crotch piece. I'm gonna be tearing it off, all the additional pieces, just so you can get an idea of the difference. And of course, there's several paint applications that I did, but mainly what's changed from the original figure is this piece, this crotch piece, the shoulders, and of course the new head, and these new foot pads, you could say. But yeah, mainly the overall look for the figure changed so much that it finally made me want to get a Bayverse Optimus Prime. But it wasn't because I loved the Bayverse look. It was because of what the kit offered, right? So I'm gonna show you, obviously what I did to the figure, paint, but also how he looks like in regular form. So if we remove, let me just remove the guns here for a second. Okay. So really, if we, well, before I remove all of the parts, there are other parts that came with as the add-on kit. There was a chrome-plated chest piece, and there were some wings, right, that came with the set. I don't display the figure like that. I may, this is how I display the figure, which I think for me is the best version, right? Because it reminds me a little bit more of what I would always imagine the character should have looked like in the movies, right, in the first place. He also came with different versions, different heads, but they were more of the Bayverse design. So this head looks a little more like a traditional G1 Optimus, but it's the head that is for the Power Master / Ginrai version of Optimus Prime, right? So if we just get a closer look, let me just raise the camera a little bit, and that way I can get in closer, right? So you can see some of that detail on the face. So normally Prime is just your basic blue blue helmet and silver face with the blue eyes. This originally came with red eyes, because that's how the Power Master Prime was depicted, as having red eyes. So you can see that there's a red plastic here that is inserted into the head sculpt, right? So I painted over those to give them the blue eyes. The gold on the helmet, I took that from a statue that was released from I'm not exactly sure who made it, who released it, but I thought it looked cool, and I decided to appropriate that for for this version here, right? It's a little different. It was something that normally we didn't see on Prime, gold, and I thought it looked cool. So then, let me grab my pointer here. So again, I painted the gold, the faceplate, was a regular colored gray. I ended up painting that. I want this focus. There we go. I ended up painting it, silver, and then on the chest here, all of this was red, I ended up painting the silver here to represent the the silver stripes from the from, like, almost any other version of Optimus that has the stripes going across the chest. The windows, those were, I want to say, they were either painted silver. No, not silver. I forget what color they were originally painted. But I ended up painting them black, right? And then, of course, I painted all of this, the grill silver. And then right there underneath the crotch, I'll remove it later. I ended up painting below that as well. And then, well, I just might as well do this now. So this is removable. There you can see the paint that I added to the figure underneath. More silvers and golds and black. And then if we remove the shoulders, you're gonna see I painted the shoulders in a gunmetal and silver combos along with some golds. You can already tell there's some paint rub from the add-ons. Right, I tried to sand a little bit from the inside. I don't know if you can see. Right, you can see some of the sanding that I tried to do just to minimize the paint rub on it. But you can see there, the different metallic colors that I added. There's some gold in there as well. Also on the back. Well, also painted the windows black on his elbows there. And then on the fist, there's a plate that rests on the upper side of his hand. There's a part here in the forearm, right there, that I thought about painting. I may go in there and paint that, I don't know, the gunmetal later on. And then you can see here on the legs, if I remove these, actually if I bend the knees, you can see that all of this, this was actually painted using chrome spray paint. I used chrome spray paint on this and applied a clear on it to protect the chrome, and it kind of dulled it down. Originally, when the paint was applied, it did have like that mirror finish, and you can kind of still have some of it, but the finish did dull it down so where it looks almost like a silver. But it looks more silver here on camera than it does in real. I mean, looking at it, you can tell that it's mostly a chrome finish. Right, then I added these black stripes to the shins and the knee guards here. And then the feet were all blue. I just added I believe this is aluminum paint, aluminum colored paint. All right, and on the insides there are some more gold, silver, and gunmetal accents that I added. And you can see gold there on the knees. But I ended up I originally painted the entire knees in there you go. I originally painted the entire knees in gold, but because of the paint rub, it would just come off, so I left it as a natural, the blue plastic. However, over time, if you can see, there's actually some rub from the chrome paint on there. It's not a big deal because eventually you're not even gonna notice that, right? Unless you look at it. But usually the way I have the figure posed is, standing straight up, so it's not anything you're gonna really notice. So as you can see here, right, let me just drop back a little bit. From you can see here, this is what I mean about how a normal, without removing the foot pads, because it is a hassle. But just looking at him in this version, then you can see how less bulky Optimus looks. Just looking at those shoulders, those tiny shoulders, compared to how blocky the forearms look, and then the little waist and the legs. That's part of the stuff that bothered me about the Bay designs. Let me just turn this a little on the back, see how it looks there. Some of that detail there. And yeah, that was mostly my main complaint about the figure. I also painted these exhaust pipes that come from up from the shoulders. I won't be transforming the figure because really there's nothing really that is showcased in truck mode. It's just mostly what mostly you're gonna see is just the silver here on the legs, and that's about it. There's a little bit of a gunmetal that I added there in this piece here. This right there. But that's about it. I didn't really do much for him in truck mode. Everything is mostly done for the robot mode. And so if we go back in and add these parts, I believe, yes, I ended up painting the exhaust on these. All right, these were, forget what color they were. I think they were just in gray plastic. Let me just put these on again. And already you can tell just by adding those, shoulder pads, he looks already, infinitely times better, in my opinion. It matches a little the bulk a little better, right, with the arms. And we still have this issue here with the around the waist area. So we add the this crotch piece. All right. Now it looks a little bit more bulkier because it blends in well with the tires, the wheels that are here on the side. So it gives them a wider, look. Or you can even, if you don't like that look, you can pull out the tires a little bit. Just play around with it however you want. I don't know, but I like how it looks like this. And then he came with these two guns. They're all both the same gun. Right? I didn't do anything to the guns yet. Still thinking about it. Nah. So yeah, it's pretty simple. This is gonna be a pretty simple overview. I really like that kit. If you can find it online, the original or the KO version, if you can find it online. And if you're a fan of, you know, having a different looking Optimus Prime, then, you know, it's a mishmash of G1 and the Bayverse, you know, which eventually I think we got with this guy, right? The Studio Series 38 pretty much is a blend of G1 and Bayverse, but more, still a little more closer to the G1. Then this is a nice alternative if you can find it. And also, let me, you know, it just occurred to me. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pause this video. Okay, so if this isn't more to your liking, there is a figure that I got about a year ago, of a figure that came out around the same time. That is also pretty much inspired, I would say, in some ways to the G1, not the G1, the Bayverse, is this guy right here. Let me pull back a little bit. Right, so this is a also a KO, but this figure is the a KO of the Make Toys Striker Manus, although this version is the Striker Noir, which is basically a Nemesis Prime, right? And you can see a lot of similarities in these designs. I'm not entirely sure who inspired who. Pretty sure, obviously, I believe the movie came out before the original Striker Manus, you know, in the red and blue deco, like an original Prime would. I believe that came out later, right? And then, you know, the kit for the upgrade kit for the figure came out as well as before the original Striker Manus. But you can see how those similarities between these figures, you know, they share some of the same look, right? Which is why I like this figure. I may have bought this first and then this one. Pretty sure that's how it worked. And since this reminded me a lot of this, that's why I got him. And also, it's a cool figure. But yeah, this guy, you know, they almost have the same. They almost have like the same head. Let me raise up the camera again. Right. A little closer. Right, they almost have like the same type of head. So I don't know who, if Make Toys was inspired by what, but yeah. Anyway, this is a pretty cool figure as well, and it's pretty cheap, and it's also, even though it's supposed to be masterpiece, it's pretty much a Voyager sized figure, so it fits well with my collection. There we go. So yeah, this is if you can find it, this is the KO. I forget what brand makes the KO, but if you look up, you know, Striker Noir online, you'll probably find who makes the KO. So yeah, there you have it. This is my G1ized version of a Michael Bay action, based action figure. I hope you like it. And comment, like, subscribe, all of that. And I'll be seeing you in the next one.